Heartwarming moment. CEO stops struggling mother of one from touching her life-changing gifts daring to dream. Lisa stood in the corner of the crowded banquet hall, the clinking of glasses and vibrant chatter swirling around her like a dream she didn't belong to. Her heart beat faster as her eyes fell on the laptop atop the charity table. The sleek, silver machine represented hope, a glimmer of a better future for her and her son, Tyler. She imagined Tyler perusing educational games, laughing as he learned. Yet, questions gnawed at her: was she truly worthy of assistance? The event was alive with energy, vibrant decor reflecting the generosity that had poured into their small Midwestern town. Charismatic CEO James, the man behind the event, was an icon, a rags-to-riches story whose ascent from poverty to prominence inspired many, including Lisa. He had come from humble beginnings, just like her. But standing there, she felt less like a warrior battling life's obstacles and more like a shadow, invisible among the affluent crowd. Taking a deep breath, Lisa stepped forward, her hands trembling slightly. She could almost feel the warmth of the laptop's keyboard beneath her fingers as she reached out, but suddenly, James's gaze caught hers. His eyes were filled with a strange intensity, a spark of understanding for a brief moment that made the bustling chatter fade into silence. "Wait a minute," James said, stepping closer. The crowd quieted like a sudden hush. "I see you reaching." Instead of offering her the laptop, he asked, "What's your name?" "Lisa," she whispered, the weight of it pulling down on her. She longed to share her story, her struggles, the night spent sorting through grocery store sales flyers hoping for just a few cents off. Instead of the quick exchange she expected, the room seemed to lean in toward her, holding its breath. "Why do you need this laptop?" he asked. All eyes rested on her now, as if she was the centerpiece, and she knew she had to speak. "I work 2 jobs to support my son, Tyler. He's 6 and he's full of dreams." Her voice wavered, tears brimming. "I need to find better work, something that can help us escape this cycle of desperation." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, with some nodding, others exchanging uncertain glances. A group of onlookers speculated how could someone like her embody the same American dream they believed was theirs for the taking. Suddenly, the atmosphere thickened as voices rose. Discontent about the real meaning of support echoed, sparking a heated debate even within the once lively gathering. Countless opinions clashed: should help be conditional or unconditional? At that pivotal moment of misunderstanding, Lisa stood tall. She felt a newfound fire within her. "We're all connected here. I'm not just a story of struggle, I'm a mother fighting for my son. I want dignity and to build a future, not just receive charity." The words hung there, powerful, raw. After a brief silence, the crowd began to shift, seeds of transformation planting within. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Lisa felt the tension simmering. Could this be the moment for change? Or would it slip through her fingers like so many opportunities? As she locked eyes with James, a silent question hovered between them. Could they bridge the divide between struggle and success? Would her story reach the hearts it needed to? James held her gaze, the weight of her words hanging in the air. He stepped closer, his expression softening. "You're right, Lisa. It's not just about charity. It's about empowerment." The crowd remained silent, captivated. Lisa's heart raced. He understood her struggle, the relentless grind, and the desire to give Tyler more than just the bare essentials. "Would you share a bit more about your dreams for Tyler?" James prompted gently, encouraging her to reveal the depths of her hopes. Lisa felt a rush of warmth at being seen. Tyler loves science and space. He wants to be an astronaut one day. Sometimes, I dream about taking him to a planetarium or getting him books that will inspire him, she said, voice cracking with emotion. But with my income it feels impossible. I just want him to know he can reach for the stars, you know? A soft murmur spread across the crowd. It wasn't pity, it was a budding connection. She sensed their hearts begin to resonate with her story, each step of her humble journey laying a foundation for collective compassion. I know it's not easy to see those dreams lived out, James replied, his voice steady and sincere. But what if we could change that together? Lisa could hardly breathe. The enormity of his words settled around her like a warm embrace. You mean? I'm prepared to offer support, he said, gesturing open-handedly to the audience. Not just for you, Lisa, but for others, too. For those who aren't just struggling, but who are fighting hard every day to build a future. Each child deserves a chance. More murmurs cascaded through the crowd. This wasn't just about a laptop anymore. This was about igniting hope. A voice broke through the whispers. A woman stepped forward. I run a foundation that offers scholarships. I'd be honored if we could set up a program in your name, Lisa, so that other children can follow their dreams like Tyler. The room buzzed with excitement. Ideas intertwined in the air like colorful ribbons. People began raising their hands, voices spilling out offers of mentorship, job placements, educational resources. Lisa stood in the center of it all, overwhelmed yet emboldened, the warmth of community wrapping around her like a coat against the chill of her past. I don't know what to say. Thank you, all of you, she stammered, grinning through tears. Could it be real? James leaned closer again. One step at a time, Lisa. Your courage inspired this moment. You took the mic, shared your truth, and that's where we start. We can create change together. As the crowd began to organize itself into discussions and plans, Lisa's heart swelled. Maybe she was worthy after all. For the first time in years, she felt seen. The murmurs of hope grew louder, igniting a fire that warmed the cold expanse of her fears. But just as she began to feel the promise of a new beginning, another voice rose above the din. What's next for you, Lisa? What if things change too fast for you to handle? The question hung heavy in the air. Would she be able to embrace this whirlwind of possibilities? In a world that had often felt bleak and limiting, could she now step into the light of a future full of hope, responsibility, and promise? As Lisa turned to face the crowd once more, determination coursed through her veins. She wasn't just a mother in need anymore, she was a force of change. What if this was just the beginning of an amazing journey? The air buzzed around her like electricity, every voice blending into a symphony of hope and possibility. Lisa stood at the center, surrounded by faces painted with encouragement and belief. Each person wore the struggle and triumph of their own stories, cradling a shared vision of better futures. Let us make a plan. A tall man shouted, hands raised in enthusiasm. We can set up educational workshops. Someone else chimed in, I can connect with my network. We can help with internships, scholarships, anything to help Tyler and others like him. Lisa blinked back tears, feeling the burgeoning warmth of transformations she never dreamed possible. She let their words wash over her, each sentence a patch sewn into the wider tapestry of her life, a tapestry that had once felt frayed and thin. But the nagging question remained, was she ready for this tidal wave of support? Feeling the flutter of anxiety, she gulped and raised her voice. I want this for Tyler and for us. But I need guidance. I'm scared I won't know how to manage all of this. There was a moment of silence, the kind that urged you to lean in closer. Then, James stepped forward again. We'll be with you every step. This isn't just on you, Lisa. We're a team now. His steady gaze was a lifeline. Someone in the back shouted, you have us. We won't let you fall. Her heart raced. She hadn't realized how heavy the burden of loneliness had been until now. Together, she echoed, glancing across the sea of faces, a chorus of support. Together, we can do this. As energy surged through her like a revving engine, the conversation kicked back into high gear. Groups formed, chatting animatedly, ideas bouncing off the walls as voices rose and fell. She marveled at how quickly her dream could become something tangible, how it had shifted from a whisper to a rallying cry. Just then, an older woman approached her, a kind smile gracing her features. "I was once where you are now," she said gently. "There's something special brewing here. Use it, let it carry you." "I will. I promise." Lisa responded, her voice stronger now. Yet deep down, a sliver of doubt still clung to her heart. Could she really balance her everyday life and the expectations that came with this movement? The thought of letting everyone down was paralyzing. James seemed to sense her hesitation. "You're not alone in this. You have a community. We'll all share the load, Lisa. Just focus on what you're passionate about. It'll guide you." As if drawn by an invisible thread, several people clustered closer, each offering their contact information, excited suggestions, and pledges of time and energy. In the chaos, Lisa caught Tyler's gaze across the room. He stood against the wall, a hint of wonder painted across his face. He beamed with pride, almost as if he could sense the shift in their lives. Suddenly, all her fears melted away. "Okay," Lisa shouted over the noise. "Let us make this happen. Let us schedule our first meeting. I don't want to waste a moment." Cheers erupted, and she felt a rush of excitement course through her veins. But just as they began to coordinate, a text beeped on her phone, cutting through the elation. The screen flashed with a name that sent cold dread spiraling through her. It was her landlord, reminding her of rent due in just a few days. Suddenly, the weight of reality crashed back. The high of hope mingled with the gnawing uncertainty of her impending financial struggles. Could she really seize this moment while keeping the ground beneath her feet? Lisa glanced at Tyler, his innocence and brightness lighting up the room. The stakes had never felt higher. Could she keep her dream alive and provide for him, or would she be forced to choose one over the other? As her heart raced with both possibility and fear, she halted abruptly, strategies swirling in her mind. What if this was just the beginning of something profound? What could she learn about herself as she navigated this new reality? The questions kept piling up. Feeling both anxious and inspired, she stood on the edge of her own transformation, unaware that the next decision could change everything. The energy in the room had shifted. Moments ago, it had been filled with laughter and hopeful chatter, but now it was the stark contrast of Lisa's reality that threatened to pull her under. The glowing faces around her seemed distant, as if she was behind a glass wall, watching the life she wished to dive into but felt unworthy to join. She needed this opportunity, but her responsibilities loomed like dark clouds overhead. Suddenly, the notion that turned the tide of optimism into fear tightened around her chest, making it hard to breathe. She looked down at her phone again, scrolling through the message that felt like a weight on her heart. "Stay in the moment," she whispered to herself, trying to reel her mind back to the positivity that had engulfed her just seconds before. "Lisa." James's voice cut through her spiraling thoughts as he leaned closer, concern etched on his face. "Everything okay?" Yeah," she lied, forcing a smile. "Just thinking. Let us focus on what we can do," he urged, picking up on her tension. "The community wants to help. We can turn this into a real project." The support in his eyes reminded her of how much she craved connection, of how tired she was of carrying everything alone. But the looming deadline of rent was a screaming reminder of her reality. Lisa took a deep breath and forced the worry away, holding on to the flickering hope instead. "Right," she said, nodding. "First meeting then. Let's get going." The group erupted into energized discussions, breaking off into smaller huddles to brainstorm ideas and formulate actionable plans. It was like watching a pot boil over with enthusiasm. Lisa felt her pulse quicken as she hopped between groups, sharing ideas and soaking in the energy like a dry sponge in water. As they began coordinating schedules and laying down the groundwork for educational workshops, Lisa's thoughts still flitted back to her financial worries. Could she manage to carve out time and energy for this initiative? The nerves clawed at her. But then she caught Tyler's eye across the room again. His smile, his unguarded joy washed over her like sunshine piercing through clouds. In that moment, she didn't just see a bright kid with big dreams, she saw the reason behind her drive. He deserved this chance. They deserved this chance. Okay, let us turn this dream into a reality, she declared, the confidence growing within her. I'll reach out to our local libraries for space. Anyone have contacts in education? I've got a few leads. Another voice chimed in. Turning to face the sea of faces, she felt a thrill course through her. This was bigger than her fear. It was bigger than she ever imagined. The room buzzed with ideas, and for the first time, she felt the walls of uncertainty start to crumble. But amidst the excitement, a thought flickered through her mind: how many more struggles were waiting around the corner? Then her phone buzzed again, a wicked reminder that reality would soon slam back into focus. She swiped to unlock it, bracing herself. She read the message from her landlord, but it wasn't a reminder this time. It was an offer to work out a payment plan, something she never anticipated. Hope filled her chest, mingling with the reality of the work ahead. Okay. Lisa shouted, not just for the crowd, but for her heart, too. Let us get to work. We have lives to change. As she coordinated the next steps, the excitement surged again, mixed with the pull of her anxieties. What if this opportunity was just the beginning of something even more challenging? And as she prepped for the first meeting, the phone buzzed again with another name, this one she didn't recognize. Who is it now? She muttered under her breath, glancing at the screen. A shiver danced down her spine as her heart raced. Little did she know, this message would lead her into uncharted territory, revealing truths she never expected and challenges she couldn't ignore. What awaited her on the other side? The name on the screen jolted Lisa out of her excitement. Unknown number, it read, but her stomach twisted as if it already knew something was amiss. She hesitated, the bustling room fading into a muted backdrop as she focused on the phone. It felt like a harbinger of something unsettling, a disturbance in her newfound momentum. She tapped the notification, bracing for impact. The moment she opened the message, her heart sank. Hi Lisa, this is Rosa from the job placement agency. I have an update regarding your application. The words hovered ominously above her, threatening to crumple the fragile hope she had just planted. Lisa. James's voice drifted back to her as he waved his hand. Everything good? I'll be right back, she muttered, sliding out of the group and into the stark hallway that separated the chaos from her chaotic thoughts. She leaned against the cool wall, trying to steady her breathing. Quickly, she thumbed through the rest of the text. We'd like to move forward with you, but it's part-time, and with limited hours, Rosa had typed, her tone almost apologetic. There it was, the promise of an opportunity draped in the shadows of uncertainty. Part-time, she echoed softly, letting the reality wash over her. Sure, she'd dreamt of getting her foot in the door, of securing a chance to build something more, but the very notion of juggling yet another commitment made her chest tighten again. Suddenly, she felt the weight of her choices crash around her. Could she manage? Could she really do this with everything else weighing heavily on her mind? Hey, you okay? Came a gentle voice from behind her. It was Tyler, the boy who always seemed to know when she was in a storm. You look like you just saw a ghost. Lisa mustered a smile. Just got some news, she replied, though her voice lacked conviction. Is it bad? He stepped closer, sensing the shadow hovering over her. Before she could answer, he continued. You're really gonna do great things, Lisa. I know it. You're like Superwoman. He grinned, imparting a sense of calm she desperately needed. Superwoman? More like a wannabe, she thought. Thanks, Tyler. Really, she said, her heart warming at his belief in her. Still, if only he knew how fragile that belief felt. I just know you're fighting for a better life. And that's inspiring. Tyler's face radiated hope. His words reminded her why she was in this fight, the community she wanted to uplift, the child she dreamed of a better home for. Okay, let's get back, she said, shaking off her unease, desperate to not let the moment slip away. I can't let anyone down. Especially not you. Tyler beamed, and they headed back into the energetic swirl of ideas and plans, her heart torn between the looming uncertainties and the pulsing encouragement around her. As the meeting progressed, Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that she was teetering on a cliff, every step a potential fall into the unknown. In the back of her mind, that message hammering like a drumbeat, a part-time job, or maybe something even less. With every passing second, inspiration flowed through the room, encouraging brainstorming and collaboration. Lisa couldn't help but feel the thrill connect her to something larger, something meaningful. She exchanged ideas with others, lifted herself from isolation like a flower pushing through concrete. Then the phone buzzed again, breaking her trance. She glanced down, her heart racing. Meeting with the CEO tomorrow, important opportunity. Staring at the screen, her mind raced. Could this be her chance? The last piece to make everything viable? But fear clanged like a warning bell in her heart. What if she failed? What if this led her right back to where she started? Lisa? James's voice cut through her thoughts, and she looked up into his questioning gaze. You with us? A deep breath filled her lungs. Yeah, I'm here, she replied, forcing the anxiety away, even as the swirling uncertainty gnawed at her. She had to face whatever was coming. But what lay ahead was shrouded in mystery, ready to unleash a tidal wave of challenges. That would test more than just her resolve. What was it that the CEO wanted with her, and would she be prepared for what would come next? The following morning dawned with a fresh wave of hope and anxiety swirling in Lisa's chest. The sun streamed through her window, illuminating the small room that held her dreams and her limitations in equal measure. Her heart raced as she prepared for her meeting with the CEO, a chance that felt both monumental and terrifying. Breathe, she whispered to herself in the mirror, trying to will away the apprehension that clung to her. She could almost hear Tyler's words from yesterday echoing in her mind, his unwavering belief in her capabilities rekindling the spark of confidence she desperately needed. She grabbed her bag, feeling the weight of ambition mixed with vulnerability pressing down on her shoulders. The company building was sleek and imposing, glass reflecting the brilliance of the sky, yet it felt like a fortress standing between her and her future. Lisa squared her shoulders and stepped through the revolving doors. Inside, the atmosphere hummed with energy, people hustling, conversation buzzing, ambition filling the air. Excuse me, I'm here to see Ms. Hamilton, she said, her voice a mere whisper as she approached the reception desk. The receptionist nodded, glancing down at the schedule before gesturing for her to take a seat in the pristine waiting area. Time stretched like taffy as she sat, every tick of the clock echoing loudly in her nervous mind. She fidgeted, her thoughts racing. What would Ms. Hamilton want from her? Would she be a stepping stone or just another face in the crowd? Was she ready to seize this opportunity, or would she crumble under the weight of expectation? Just as her anxiety threatened to spiral, a woman emerged from behind a set of glass doors. Ms. Hamilton appeared to be in her late 40s, her demeanor sharp yet warm, a smile flickering on her lips. Lisa? Come on in. Lisa stood, her legs shaky but her resolve strengthening with each step. The office was expansive, lined with books and bright artwork, the air filled with a scent of fresh coffee. Thank you for seeing me, Lisa managed as she entered and took a seat. "I'm excited to meet you," Ms. Hamilton stated, leaning forward with genuine interest. "Your application and your vision for the community caught my eye. I wanted to hear more about you." Lisa took a steadying breath. The conversation flowed, with questions leading to her passions, her dreams, and the realities she faced. As she spoke, she found herself opening up her past struggles, her child, the burning desire to create a better life. Each word felt like a stitch weaving her story into that of a potential future. Ms. Hamilton listened intently, her expression a mix of empathy and admiration. "You have a remarkable spirit," she noted after Lisa finished, her voice soft but firm. "You're already fighting the good fight, and it shows." Lisa's heart swelled at the acknowledgement. It was a relief to be seen, to be understood beyond her struggles. But as the conversation deepened, the reality of the situation began to sink in again. "But, what if I don't have everything you're looking for?" she ventured cautiously. Ms. Hamilton leaned back in her chair, contemplating. "What I look for isn't a perfect candidate but someone who's willing to grow, thrive, and learn. I want someone who feels deeply about their community, someone like you." A wave of hope washed over Lisa. "So what's the next step?" she asked, the words tinged with excitement. As Ms. Hamilton laid out the possibilities, Lisa felt a surge of determination and purpose. This could indeed be the beginning of something huge, a transformation not just for her but for everyone she cared about. She was ready to take this leap. But as she left the office, her mind buzzing with possibilities, a familiar feeling tugged at her heart, a whisper of doubt woven into the threads of excitement. Could she really make a difference? What if her past loomed larger than her resolve? With questions swirling within her, Lisa stepped out into the sunlight, the future a kaleidoscope of uncertainty and hope. She took a deep breath, pondering the weight of change. What awaited her on this unpredictable journey? Lisa stepped into the bustling street, the warmth of the sun washing over her, but the chill of uncertainty lingered in her bones. The fresh energy of the moment felt juxtaposed against the shadows of self-doubt wrapping themselves around her heart. She could almost hear Ms. Hamilton's voice whispering reassurance, but it quickly faded. Could she really live up to the vision they had started to paint together? With each stride, she battled both excitement and fear. Tyler had been a beacon of light and support, but now, alone in the crowd, the noise of her thoughts grew louder. Faces passed, each one a reminder of the relentless hustle she needed to embrace if things were to change. Those people, rushing to and fro, were taking risks. They were not waiting for opportunity, they were chasing it. As she walked, her phone buzzed in her pocket. A text from Tyler lit up the screen. "How'd it go? I'm proud of you." A smile broke through the tension in her chest. She quickly replied, her excitement spilling over in a flurry of emojis. But the smile faded as she remembered, reality was waiting. Her son, Danny, still needed everything she couldn't offer him, yet the care, the stability, the belief that they could break free from the cycle they lived in. What if she fell short? What if this chance slipped through her fingers, just like the others? When she reached a nearby park, she decided to pause. It was her usual escape, an open space where thoughts could flutter freely like the leaves dancing on the trees. Lisa sank onto a bench, closing her eyes and letting the sounds of children playing fill the void of her worries. She remembered her dream, a better life, not just for her but for Danny as well. That dream seemed a world away. A little girl raced past her, laughing, her hair flowing behind her like ribbons. The sight stirred something within Lisa, a longing for that same carefreeness. In her imagination, she pictured Danny running alongside that girl, laughter bubbling, free from worry. The vision ignited a flicker of hope, a reminder why she needed to take this chance. Taking a deep breath, Lisa opened her eyes and glanced at her phone again, scrolling through Ms. Hamilton's message detailing the next steps. There were meetings scheduled, plans in motion. The thought brought a flood of renewed determination. She would not shy away from pursuing this opportunity. Change was never easy, but standing still was even harder. As she stood up to head home, she felt a tug on her heart, a quiet voice urging her to stay open to what lay ahead. Could this be the pivotal moment she'd been waiting for? With a deep breath, she whispered to herself, "Just keep moving forward." But just as she stepped away from the bench, she overheard a snippet of conversation that sent a chill down her spine. "They're cutting the program for single parents," a woman said to her friend, her tone grave. Lisa felt her heart race. What program? She thought. Was it the very help she needed? The unease settled back into her chest, threatening to extinguish the flame of hope that had ignited moments ago. Lisa stood frozen, an unsettling realization dawning on her. What if everything she was working for was about to slip away again? There was only one way to find out. Taking a deep breath, she knew she had to dig deeper into this new challenge. As anxiety swirled, a question loomed larger than ever: was she truly ready to fight for her future? Lisa's heart pounded in her chest. She couldn't shake the gravity of that conversation. The words echoed in her mind, cutting the program for single parents. Should she investigate? Could this really be happening? Taking a few hurried steps away from the bench, she forced herself to focus on what mattered most: Danny. He depended on her, and the thought of failing him again tightened her throat. She glanced at her phone, the screen glowing under the afternoon sun, and her fingers hovered over the screen. Should she call Ms. Hamilton? She needed clarity, needed to know where to turn next. As she dialed, her mind raced. What if she learned they were indeed slashing the program? She could already envision that dark cloud overshadowing her plans. Her stomach twisted with fear, but there was no turning back now. "Hey, Lisa. How did everything go today?" Ms. Hamilton's warm voice flooded through the phone, a comforting balm but a stark contrast to the turmoil Lisa felt inside. "Hi, Ms. Hamilton. I overheard something about a program being cut for single parents." Lisa hesitated, her voice almost a whisper. "Is it true?" There was a pause on the other end, a slight crackle of static as if the universe itself wavered in anticipation. "I haven't heard anything, but I'll look into it immediately. Can you keep me posted? You and Danny are my priority." Her voice was steady, but Lisa felt the concern radiating even through the phone. "Of course. Thank you." Lisa hung up, her skin prickling with mixed emotions: hope and fear tangled in a heavy embrace. She could feel her breath quickening as she realized that she'd have to confront this uncertain reality head-on. With a new sense of purpose, Lisa began walking again, this time with determination in her stride. Each step carried weight, but also a flicker of courage. She couldn't afford to be passive. Not anymore. She'd have to find the others, those who depended on the same program. They would need to come together. As she meandered through the park, she noticed a group of mothers chatting nearby, their children darting about, laughter ringing through the trees. She hesitated before moving closer, balancing on the edge of fear and hope. What if they were already aware? What if it was too late? "Excuse me," she addressed the group, nervously tugging on her sleeve. "Did you hear anything about cuts to the single-parent program?" Their heads snapped toward her, expressions shifting from casual to serious. The oldest of the group, a woman with fiery red hair, nodded. "Yeah, we caught wind of it last week. No official word yet, but we're all worried." A spontaneous conversation erupted, voices mingling with muffled cries of children nearby. The women exchanged concerns, sharing stories of struggles, just like Lisa's. Each tale pulled at her heartstrings, woven with threads of shared pain and resilience. She could feel the warmth of solidarity enveloping her. One of the women, shy but determined, suggested, "We should do something. Start a petition, maybe? Pull together our stories and make some noise." Lisa's heart raced again with an unexpected thrill. Was this what it felt like to take action? Together, they would rise against the threat looming over their lives. Ideas poured out, and Lisa felt the passion ignite within her. Each plan, every shared fear, and the glimmers of hope became a staircase leading toward change. As they brainstormed, laughter bubbled up once more, easing the tension of concern. In those brief moments, she felt a connection, a sense of belonging she hadn't realized she desperately needed. But a nagging thought crept back in the looming uncertainty of the program's fate. Would they really manage to save this lifeline? Just as Lisa prepared to voice her own story, a familiar face appeared at the edge of the park. Tyler stood there, eyes scanning the crowd until they locked on hers. His presence radiated warmth, and for a moment, she felt the world pause. Lisa smiled, heart fluttering. Would he join them in this fight? And would they find the strength to reclaim their future? But before she could shout out to him, a woman interrupted, "We need to get moving on this." The urgency in her voice snapped Lisa back to reality. Lisa took a deep breath, the echo of determination cozying into her heart. This was just the beginning. They had each other. They had a plan. Now all they needed was the courage to see it through, and there was still one question left swirling in her mind: how far would they have to go to protect their dreams? Lisa felt the weight of their shared fear, but as the group brainstormed, something shifted within her. The worry that had chained her down began to feel lighter, replaced by the strength of community. Each suggestion thrown into the air was like a spark, igniting her hope. They could do this together. "Let us meet again tomorrow, same time," the woman with fiery red hair proposed, her enthusiasm bubbling over. "We can draft the petition and share our stories online. Seek support from the wider community." Lisa nodded, her fingers tapping against her phone's screen as she jotted down the details. This was more than just a plan, it was a promise. A promise to fight, to stand up for themselves and their children. "I'll spread the word," she said, her voice steadier now. "We can share what's happening with more people. The more we have with us, the stronger we'll be." Excitement coursed through her veins as they exchanged numbers and shared stories of their children's dreams for the future. With every voice that joined them, Lisa felt more hopeful about their chances. All of them were united by the same struggles, and that was powerful. Just as they were wrapping up, Tyler approached her. His brow furrowed with concern. "Hey, I saw you from afar. What's going on?" The warmth in his eyes reassured her, and she felt the urge to share everything. "They're talking about cutting the single-parent program, Tyler," she said, her voice dropping to a hush. "We're trying to organize, but I could use your help." He nodded solemnly. "I'm in. Whatever you need." It was a simple statement, but it filled her with a warm gratitude. Here he was, perhaps her biggest support, ready to stand beside her. Her heart swelled. Maybe, just maybe, they could do something incredible together. As the sun began to set, casting an amber glow over the park, Lisa gazed around at the mothers and children. It struck her how much they shared sacrifice, love, and the drive to create a better life for their kids. She wanted to protect that. "Let us make it happen," one of the mothers shouted, sealing their newfound alliance, and the group erupted in agreement. Before long, they dispersed, the energy of determination lingering in the air. When Lisa and Tyler finally stepped out of the park, she felt lighter, as though the burdens of uncertainty were no longer hers to carry alone. "Want to grab some coffee?" "I'd like to catch up with you," Tyler suggested, and she couldn't deny the flutter of excitement in her chest. "Sure," she replied, feeling a mix of gratitude and hope. As they walked toward the cafe, Lisa considered how different her life felt in that moment. There was a spark of rebellion against the fear that had shadowed her, fueling her resolve. The hard conversations and sleepless nights were not over, but she could already see a glimmer of what could be. Tyler's laughter filled her ears as they talked, and for a few moments, she allowed herself to forget about the impending changes. She was reminded of happier days when life felt more manageable. But then it hit her: what if they failed? What if the program cut went through? It was a reality she had to face, but she could refuse to be defeated. She stole a glance at Tyler, who was now speaking passionately about his work. His passion was contagious, a reminder that life could go on beyond the battles waiting to be fought. But as the evening darkened, she also realized that time was running out. Would they find the courage to challenge the powers that be? And in the middle of this whirlwind, would their budding connection flourish? With excitement and uncertainty swirling together, Lisa couldn't help but wonder what changes awaited them around the corner. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the small park where Lisa had met with the other mothers. She felt the weight of possibility swirling in the air, filling her with cautious hope. Tomorrow, they would gather again, armed with stories and determination, a collective force ready to make a difference. But as she walked side by side with Tyler, doubts crept in like weeds, threatening to choke her resolve. What if it's not enough? She mused aloud, glancing down at the boy who was her world. What if they don't listen to us? What if we fail? Tyler shot her a knowing look, a mix of patience and innocence, the kind only a child could muster. You fought for us before, Mom. This time will be no different. His words held a weight that had the power to lift her spirits. Maybe he was right. Maybe every battle added layers of strength she had yet to recognize in herself. So why was she still worried? Okay, she said, trying to shake off the fear gripping her heart. Let us focus on tonight. What kind of ice cream should we get? Her smile returned as their conversation shifted, laughter spilling out like a bomb on her frayed nerves. The ice cream shop was a warm haven, filled with the scent of toasted waffle cones and the sound of jingling spoons against cups. As they savored their sweet treats, Lisa felt her earlier concerns begin to fade, if only for a moment. Could I be an astronaut too? Tyler asked, eyes wide with wonder. Like in your dreams? Her heart swelled at the question. You can be anything you want, Tyler. Astronaut, chef, even the President of the United States. His laughter rang out, filling her with joy. Simultaneously, her thoughts danced back to the fight ahead. Tyler's dreams steered her onward, she needed to keep going. After ice cream, they headed home. Lisa glanced through the window as they passed the school where Tyler would one day soar even higher. The shadows of doubt loomed again, but she addressed them head-on. I'll call a meeting tonight to plan for tomorrow, she declared, determination straightening her spine. We're not letting anything hold us back. This time she meant it. That evening, as Lisa sat at her kitchen table and typed out a message to the group, her steadfast resolve emanated from her fingertips. The words poured forth like a tidal wave, brimming with passion for the fight she was ready to embark upon. Let us save our program. She typed, her excitement palpable. Together, we can share our stories and fight for what our children deserve. United, we are stronger. With every keystroke, that flicker of hope transformed into a raging flame. They would make their voices heard, not just for themselves, but for all the parents dreaming of something better. And the following day arrived in hushed anticipation. The air was tense as she stood outside the community center with the other mothers, every heart pulsing with purpose. They were ready to rally, their children's futures depended on it. As the meeting began, Lisa stepped forward. Thank you all for being here. We're not just a group of worried parents. We are a community fighting for our children's chances, she began, her voice steady and resolute. Every eye in the room locked onto her, breaths held. She shared her story and the struggles that brought them all together. This was their moment to shine. If they think they can take away our program, they are sorely mistaken. Applause erupted, filling the room with palpable energy. We have each other. One mother shouted. Let us tell this story to everyone. With interviews scheduled and petitions circulating, Lisa felt the collective spirit spiraling upward. The hope radiated from everyone, powerful like a sun, a beacon they had not realized they would ignite. For every tear that had been shed for their fears, laughter and determination rose like a phoenix from the ashes. Weeks passed in a flurry of meetings and speeches, and soon, word began to spread. Local media picked up their plight, and interviews turned into community discussions. Lisa felt buoyed by the support of her neighbors, hand in hand with the mothers who had become her sisters in this fight. And then, the day arrived. The city council meeting. It was packed with people, all waiting to hear the voices of those who had come to fight for the future. When it was Lisa's turn to speak, she didn't hesitate. Her voice echoed across the room, filled with raw emotion. We shouldn't have to fight for our children's right to learn and thrive. Every child deserves the chance to reach for their dreams. The room erupted into applause. The walls of doubt that had once stifled her began to crumble, replaced by the sobering truth she had found: she was not alone. Days turned into weeks, April blossomed into May, and hope turned into celebration. When the announcement came that the program was to continue, pure joy washed over Lisa's face. It was a victory for them all, an assurance that dreams were worth fighting for. Tyler's ecstatic cheer echoed through their home as they reveled in the good news. She picked him up, swinging him around in radiant happiness. "We did it, buddy," she said, tears of joy flowing. "We really did it." As she looked into the eyes of her son, she saw a reflection of the woman she had become: courageous, unyielding, and helpful. They had fought together, and with their victory, a whole new world unfolded before them. With the community behind them, she felt ready for whatever adventures lay ahead. They had faced a storm and emerged stronger. Life's challenges would still come, but now, they had the strength of unity to face them head-on. It was more than a program, it was a testament to resilience, a reminder that together they could change their destiny. "Let us go celebrate with some ice cream," Lisa suggested, their spirits soaring as they headed out into the sunlit world, full of promise. And as they walked hand in hand, possibilities shimmered on the horizon. It was their moment, the moment that embraced hope and transformed dreams into reality. You need to subscribe now to never miss more inspiring stories like Lisa's. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm and spread this message far and wide. Comment your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Together, we can continue to uplift each other.